area, go ahead.
I have no idea where I'm going. I'm going to crash. Mayday. No idea. Mayday. I'm going to crash.
I think 15 Lima, say altitude.
Rolling. I'm rolling. Oh, my God. Ah. Jesus Christ. Get out.
Is this real life right now? It's really hard to listen to audio just like the one you just heard. That was the desperate mayday call by a pilot who was about to crash. Everything recorded in the black box is also known as the flight recorder. This is used for security measures, and oftentimes when something bad happens, investigators have to re-listen to audio tape to determine what happened. Also, to be honest with you guys, me and my wife had a very scary moment while we were whitewater rafting. We flipped over in the rapids that is known to be the second biggest in North America. It was located in Ottawa. I nearly drowned and my wife thought she was going to die. My wife's audio was very scared. The whole thing is recorded. The video will be up soon. I can't rewatch it. You guys can click right over here. The video should be available very soon, or you guys can head over to the vlog channel and wait. It should be up. It was very scary. We both thought we were gonna die. Let me know your near-death experience if you have any, or the scariest thing that's ever happened to you guys in the comment section below. Alright, so let's get right into this video. This is the top 10 scary last words from airplane crashes. Starting us off, at number 10, we have this. As this audio continued, the pilot's last word was, "It's over." The last words will haunt this man's family and friends forever. So that was recorded on the black box of Japan's Airlines Flight 123. It took place back in 1985 in Saitama Prefecture, which is located in Japan, which is northwest of Tokyo. This flight killed 520 people on board. This accident was one of the deadliest single plane crashes in their history. This flight was on the eve of the Japanese holiday Bon, which is a festival to honor the spirits of one's ancestors. So everyone on this plane was on holiday. Many people were going to go visit their family and friends and loved ones. The pilot noticed an altitude change and he was losing control of the plane. The plane fell 10,000 feet and he continued to send distress calls and asked to be rerouted to Tokyo Airport. But almost 1 hour into the flight, it crashed into Mount Takamagahara. It took 14 hours for rescue crews to locate the plane and try to save as many people as possible. 4 people were able to survive the plane crash. The pilot was not one of them. Number 9, there were many phone calls made during the 9/11 attacks. It was a very devastating day for America and the rest of the world when a terrorist attack unfolded. Well, just minutes before United Airlines Flight 175 slammed into the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001, 38-year-old Brian Sweeney made his last phone call. The phone call was made to his wife from the back of the plane. Brian's wife didn't pick up the phone, which is just so heartbreaking to me, but on a voicemail he said, "I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. If things don't go well and it's not looking good, I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. Go have good times. Same to my parents and everyone. I just totally love you. And I'll see you when you get there. Bye, babe. I hope I can call you." I don't even know what to say about that. It's extremely a sad situation and a phone message you just never want to listen to. That phone call was placed just 3 minutes before the crash occurred. Moving into number 8, we have this also from the day of the horrific attack.
And there's somebody stabbed in business class, and we can't breathe in business class. Somebody's got mace or something.
Can you describe the person that you said someone is what in business class?
I'm sitting in the back. Somebody's coming back from business. If you can hold on for 1 second, they're coming back.
So that was from Betty Ann Ung. She was a flight attendant on the plane. She said someone was stabbed, she can't breathe, and thinks she is getting hijacked. Is it just me, or does she sound very calm about the whole thing? Betty was on flight 11, which was actually the first plane to become hijacked during the 9/11 attacks. Shortly after the hijacking, Betty notified the American Airlines ground crew, and she stayed on the phone for about 25 minutes. minutes. Because of this hijacking, it led to closing the airspace by FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, for the first time in United States history. Number 7.
Vai começar a viagem aí, ó. Ô, vai começar a viagem pra Colômbia aí, ó.
So that was the last audio and video footage of the Brazilian football team that crashed. This took place on November 28, 2016. It was Alemia Flight 2933 that killed 71 of 77 people on board. The Brazilian football team was on their way to play in the 2016 Copa Sudamericana finals. The cause of this flight was unexcusable. It was due to fuel exhaustion, which means there was poor flight planning. And also there was a failure to declare an emergency after fuel levels became critically low. It seems like this accident could have been avoided. I'm sure that there was a massive class action lawsuit in place. Sadly, moving into number 6, we have a woman who texted her dad before her plane crashed. Enda, this girl right here, well, she's 30 years old, and she's actually a former Miss Indonesia finalist who sent her dad Peter one final text message just minutes before she and her husband were killed in a plane crash. The text message said, "Papa, how are you?" Also, Enda sent messages to several of her friends. Enda's father replied to his daughter's text message, but he realized that there was no answer, and then after he realized why, after he watched the news. I would be so heartbroken, I wouldn't know what to do. Enda's plane mysteriously crashed into Perth's Swan River. Investigators are looking into the cause of the accident. Now at number 5, we have this. Alright, good night. That was said by either the pilot or co-pilot on Malaysian Airlines flight 370. This flight actually disappeared, and it's not known if this was intentionally or not, because why would someone flying the plane just say alright, good night, and there doesn't seem to be any distress? All 227 passengers and 12 crew members aboard the plane are presumed dead. The disappearance of flight 370 was the deadliest incident involving a Boeing 777 plane, and the deadliest incident of Malaysian Airlines history. The search for this plane became the most costly of aviation history. Investigators really wanted to know what the heck happened during this flight, but it seems like this will for now remain one of the greatest aviation's mysteries. Number 4.
Mayday, mayday, speedbird, 9595.
That was the black box audio from British Airlines Flight 38. This Boeing 777 plane crashed back in 2008 at the London Heathrow Airport. The cause for the crash was fuel starvation caused by ice. Also, the ice caused a shorter runway to safely land the plane. Fortunately for this plane crash, there was no fatalities. There was 152 people on board and just 47 people sustained injuries. There was one serious injury. This plane was the first Boeing 777 to be written off in their history. In 2009, it was announced that 10 passengers were suing Boeing for the suffering that they had to go through. It was reported that each of the passengers, well, they could receive up to $1 million. The lawsuit alleged that the design of the aircraft was defective and unreasonably dangerous. All of the claims were settled out of court a few years later in 2012. Number 3. That was the last words recorded by the pilot and co-pilot of American Airlines Flight 191. This deadly crash happened on May 25th, 1979 that killed 273 people. The plane crashed due to loss of control that was caused by the engine coming off due to improper maintenance. This flight was going from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles International Airport. With 273 fatalities, it was the deadliest aviation accident to have occurred in the United States. There were no survivors. Number 2.
Morning, Adult. Do you want to go to Tamiami and land? Or you have a door open? Is that what you're saying?
I have a door ajar and a passenger that fell down. I am 6 miles from Miami.
That was a mayday call from the pilot of Piper PA-46 aircraft. This plane was about 2,000 feet in the air when a passenger fell out of the plane. Coast Guard and Miami-Dade Fire Rescue and Water United searched for the missing person. The Miami-Dade Police Department sent homicide detectives to the airport to further investigate what happened. Police have not indicated any evidence of foul play, so it was most likely an accident. But I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't be that calm if a passenger just fell out of my plane. Finally, at number 1, this one is insane. You are about to listen to an audio from a Horizon Air employee, Richard Russell, who decided to steal a plane and take it for a flight.
Ruin your day.
Just flying the plane around, you seem comfortable with that?
Oh, hell yeah, it's a blast, man. I played video games before, so I know what I'm doing a little bit.
Is this real life right now? This guy is absolutely insane. Apparently Richard Russell was described as a suicidal man, so he didn't care what he was doing. He decided he wanted to steal a plane and fly it wherever he wanted. Richard Russell did crash the plane, but just before the air traffic control was trying to help him, air traffic control was trying to help him land the plane safely. Richard knew that what he did might result in some jail time, so he wasn't really interested in landing the plane.
I think I'm going to try to do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, then I'm just going to nose down and call it a night.
Well, Rich, before you do that, let's think about this. I got another pilot coming up, Pilot Joel, here in just a minute or two, I hope.
This is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next most amazing top 10 video.